All right, ladies and gents, let's get into my favorite part of the e-commerce process, which is ad creation. This is where we can finally do the fun stuff of coming up with unique ideas, unique angles to really outmarket our competition. Because in the dropshipping space, we're all selling the same products. So really, it's all about who can market those products the best. So right now, we're gonna learn how to do research, how to come up with ideas, how to come up with scripts, and the frameworks for how to sell any e-commerce product. Now for me, I believe the best way to test any product is with custom creatives. However, this is going to depend on your budget, because if you're someone who's on more of a budget, it might make sense to repurpose content initially so that you can build a budget to work with content creators. Because when you do work with custom content, you typically have to pay $200, $300 to get that content first filmed, and then you either need to edit it or hire an editor that can do the editing for your ads. So if you're trying to do it in the most budget efficient way, yes, you will find clips online, you will repurpose them because, hey, they're already proven to work because they went viral. So you can do the unethical method of just downloading an ad that's already working. I'm not going to tell you one way or another, hey, when you're starting out, people do that. It does happen. So if you want to be that person, sure, so that you can initially build up the capital. So you test that product, and hey, if it works, then yes, let's do custom creatives. That is by far the easiest. It's free and it takes almost no time to do that. However, I also recommend testing with some repurpose ads too, just to see if you can outperform those creatives that you might steal. And if you're wondering how you can steal an ad, I don't tell anyone that I taught you this. Uncle Ethan is not a part of this, but you would just go to the TikTok URL and then you would copy that and you would go into an app like Snaptic. And then we click on download just like that, and bada bing, bada boom, we got the ads. Which it honestly breaks my heart that you're doing something like that. I feel like I taught you better. This is e-commerce evolution, not e-commerce plagiarism. But before I even really download any clips or do anything with repurposed content, or when I do custom content, you have to first come up with your script and figure out what are the major talking points of your product. Now, just to show you a quick example, this is what I did for the slim waist that I was able to scale to about $80,000 a month in its first month. So what I did is I gathered a lot of benefits, a lot of things. I didn't write this all out. This was a lot of copying reviews. As you can see, these are just reviews I copied over. I gathered what the target audience was going to be, so 18 to 65 plus female, African American, into wigs. That seemed to be a nice little niche or interest that I could target. And then I copied over a lot of the lines that I saw from top performing ads. So you want to do a mix of definitely try to copy as many resources as you can into one document, and then take the ideas, see what's being said over and over and over again, and that's what you're going to put into your ads. You never want to really come up with your own ideas, just reverse engineer what's already working. So as you can see right here, I had all these different lines, and then I started writing some headlines. Now these are more for the website. It doesn't really matter too much for your ads. So I would recommend the first place to start with any ad is the hook. Now below this video, we will have plenty of resources for hook templates that you can use when you are coming up with your unique hooks for your ads. And I would recommend when you're initially testing a product, you should have at least 5 creatives. So for those, I would recommend always testing a new hook. And that hook could be, all right, let me do 3 different texts and then we have 2 different clips. So I can come up with a combination of obviously 6, but we probably only use 5 of those 6. So you can do, let's say we use the same opening hook clip and then we have 5 different hook texts. You really want to play around. Personally, I prefer split testing the actual clip more than the hook itself, the text. So I would recommend doing 3 different clips with 2 different texts, and you come up with the best 5 combinations out of those 6. So let's say, for instance, I am selling waist trainers, so we can see all these different hooks, and some of them will apply to your product, some of them won't. You'll have to definitely do some research. So we can see right here, okay, plumbers, this one's pretty interesting. You might want to see this. So this is customer niche. This one's pretty interesting. You're going to want to see this. Now, I will admit, with some of the hooks from this, it's more based on actually working with UGC content creators and having them say these lines. So personally, do I really recommend using these if you're not doing custom content? Not really, because there's 2 different styles when you're doing ad scripts. There is the UGC style when you're working with custom content, and then there's the repurposed ad style. And I would say repurposed ads have a much different tonality and way of communicating benefits. It's usually more direct responsey, it's more salesy. And then with UGC, it's more based on I statements. It's more relatable. It's like, I just got this new product, compared to when you're selling with DTC and then repurposed ads. It's more like these lines right here, which are just basically really powerful benefits about the product. So your dream waist in only 30 days. You wouldn't have an actual UGC creator say that. That's just more of the text you would put on a clip of a UGC creator using your product. Then we have other things. So getting your hourglass figure has never been easier. Getting your dream waist has never been easier. And for these hooks, I mean, it's a pretty simple framework. It's just get benefit or get desired results has never been easier. So you can definitely take a few of those. Sculpt a sexy hourglass figure of your dreams. So again, another benefit. And I'm just saying it in different ways. Then I like to also do some questions. So are you ready to get snatched? That was a line I saw a lot. And again, it's really hard to come up with these on your own if you don't do the research, which is going to be the next video about how to do ad inspo. But obviously, just to preface that video, what you're going to do is you're going to go in tools like AdSpy, you're going to go in tools like PP Ads, and you will look up similar products to yours. So I would say a good hook is either the biggest benefits, opportunity, or the pain point that your target audience has. It's usually going to be a statement or a clip that really gets your target audience's attention. So with whatever product you sell, you need to know what is your target audience, and every single product has a target audience. It might be for a younger demographic, might be for a specific gender. You have to do the research and look at customer reviews. See what type of people are leaving reviews the most. Is it women? Is it men? Is it younger people? Is it older people? And obviously, once you know that, you're going to go do your research and you're going to figure out what are the lines you see over and over and over again, and can you improve those? So again, I did not come up with really any of these lines on my own. I just took it from competitors and then I put my own twist to it. Now, I would say the next section of an ad is typically the problem. So for problem, this is going to be the major pain points your audience has. So for the waist trainer, it was losing weight. It's feeling confident in your own skin. These are the major pain points. But again, you have to do the research. And typically when you read customer reviews, you will see people saying, hey, I bought this because of this reason. I wanted to lose a few pounds. I wanted to look better. I wanted to improve my acne. Stuff like that is what you're going to use for that problem section. And as you can see right here, I have different frameworks that you'll have below this video that you can use when you're scripting your own ads for more custom content creators, because these lines are for custom content creators. It's supposed to be natural, authentic lines. And obviously, if you're repurposing content, then when you're doing the problem lines, it should be more simple and to the point. It should be more like writing a description. I would say pretty much the major difference, and this is something you learned in English 101, it's just you talk from the first person perspective when you're doing UGC creatives, and then you talk in the third person perspective when you're doing more repurposed ads. So as we can see right here, I have different frameworks for pretty much every section of the ad. I really like to break down so that I can split test different areas, because an ad has multiple sections. You have the hook, you have the problem, you have the demos, so demonstrating how to use the product. Then you have your benefits. So what happens after using the product? Oh, you get this benefit, you get that benefit. Then you'll have testimonials. So this is a clip of the influencer or content creator, and this might be you're working with content creators and asking them to do a testimonial, or you might try to go on the internet and find clips of someone using the product and say, hey, I absolutely love this product. I can't live without it. Stuff like that that really shows a testimonial, and it's also vicariously social proof, because when someone raves about something, it is social proof. It reaffirms that, oh wow, this product's pretty dope. So as you can see, we have different frameworks, demos, USPs, testimonials, and of course, the last section is going to be your call to actions. So go try it for yourself, try it out today. I would say when I'm typically doing call to actions for a brand that I'm working with, even when I'm testing a new product, I like to put the URL and also a major benefit at the end. So I might do something like get your dream waist today, myslimwaist.com, something along those lines. Or you might do a sale. So check it out, 40% off sale and soon, myslimwaist.com. I always like to put the URL, because the big thing with TikTok ads is when people save them, you actually can't click the link when you're revisiting it. So if you have the URL in there, it makes it super easy for the person to type it in, and you will get extra sales just by having the URL at the call to action page. Now, if you are doing repurposed ads, here are the main frameworks that I would recommend following. You can do hook, problem, solution, social proof, call to action. Now for these, I will do one clip in each section. Maybe I will do 2 for social proof or 2 for benefits and stuff like that. But in the most part, I like to keep my ads short and concise. So each clip should be about, I would say, 2 to 4 seconds long. You should have text that is about 8 words max. You don't want it to be too much. And I also like to make sure I'm showing the product, or I have the logo that I created in Canva for my brand in the top left corner or top right corner, because again, it just gets that affirmative that, okay, this is an ad that I am watching. You don't want people to watch the first clip and not even realize what is actually going on. So going back to the waist trainer example, let's say for instance, my hook is your dream waist in only 30 days. So I'll just find a clip of someone using the product, most likely. That seems to be the clip that matches the most with the text. Then next we can get into the problem. So what is the problem? Well, I would say it is you have trouble losing weight, or you have trouble going to the gym, or you just want to look your best when you're going out. Something like that could be the problem. And then the next clip would be the solution. So going back to my waist trainer, I've plenty of different lines that are labeled as benefits, but could also be solutions as well. So a premium, comfortable waist trainer made for your body. So that could definitely be the solution line. And then again, getting into social proof, this would be saying something like, oh, trusted and loved by over 2,000 women. You can get a content creator to say that. I would say this line though, it's more third party. It feels like a brand is telling me that. So that's just text I would have on screen on top of a clip of someone raving about the product. And then call to action is pretty simple. I mean, you can really just put any clip at the end there. Typically it's going to be a clip of someone using the product, and then you'll have the call to action text on screen. And then the next one is hook, demo, social proof, call to action. This one actually works really well for me and repurpose that. So you got your hook that gets people's attention, then immediately you're just showing how to use the product, and then you get into some benefits, you get into some social proof, and then have a call to action. And I know for my best waist trainer ads, they actually followed more of what I would say was hook, I would say 2 benefits, social proof, and then call to action. So I did a lot of just focusing on benefits without even mentioning a problem. And that's what worked the best for me. So you can do a hook, 2 to 3 benefits, that social proof of a testimonial or saying, hey, over 2,000 people love this, then that call to action. And throughout the entire ad, you have the logo in the top left or right corner. But if you are doing custom content, which I do solely believe in, if you want to have the best results in e-commerce, then I would recommend following one of these frameworks. So personally for me, I love the problem solution ads. So going straight into the hook of describing a problem. So I used to have trouble focusing throughout the day, and then you agitate that problem a little bit. So if you have trouble focusing throughout the day, what actually happens from that? So your grades might get lower. You might be less productive at work, stuff like that. And then you get into, I found this product just randomly. It was recommended to me. I found it on TikTok, wherever it was. And then after using the product, so you describe how to use it, you have the benefit. So it finally allowed me to focus and increase my productivity. I'm an absolute machine. Sigma grind set. 14 hours a day. I wake up at 3 in the morning and grind every day. That's just how I am. I'm just built different. And then of course, call to action. So I will scroll down. You will have all these frameworks that you can use when you are creating your own custom UGC ads. But personally for me, I like to do the brief modular format. So with modular content, this is the most cost-effective way of getting custom creatives, because basically what you're going to do is you're going to write out this storyboard for a product, send it to a content creator, ask them just to film each line and not edit anything, and then you edit it together to save a ton of cost. Because if you get one ad from a really good content creator, it'll cost you about $100. But if you do the modular format, you can get 20 ads made for honestly $200, just double the cost, because they charge a lot extra for the editing, these content creators. And honestly, they're not that good at it. So you should be the one handling that, or hiring someone that does understand video editing. So breaking it down, this is what a typical storyboard looks like for a product that we work on. So we can see right here, if you aren't using this facial sauna before bed, what are you doing? And again, what we do is we have multiple clips for each section. So we have 3 different hooks, 3 different problems, 2, 3, 4, wow, 4 different ways of introducing the product. I would say I typically like to see more hooks, because hooks are the most common thing to split test, because that's the most important part of your ad. So I typically like to do that. And then, okay, demo, how do you use the product? All right, 3 different ways of explaining how to use it. Then we got the benefits of what happens after using the product, some testimonials. So apart from all these, blah, 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 and call to actions at the end. Now, you don't need all these clips to make 5 ads. This is really for us when we try to make 20 to 30 ads for a product. And there's about, I would say, 20 different lines. And if you do the math, the amount of combinations you can make with this is easily over 50. But I would highly recommend, if you're just trying to be cost effective and you want to work with some content creators, let's say for $50 or $100, you would do about half these lines. So you might do 2 different hooks, 2 different problems, 2 different intros, 2 different demos, USPs, testimonials, and that might add up to around 14, 15 lines, but you'll definitely get a much more effective deal. And that's really all the content you need to test a product. So again, when you're writing these lines, we have different frameworks down below, but again, you have to do the studying of ad inspiration. And there are so many different things, because the major thing with this storyboard is it's first person perspective. You have to write it like someone is actually speaking it, because that's what's going to happen. And then once you get back that content, we have some different combinations that you can do when you're editing your ads together. So as we can see, we have hook, product demo, 2 benefits, call to action. You can do, let's say, hook, 2 benefits, product demo, testimonial, call to action. These are all pretty similar combinations, but these are the different combinations that I like to do when I test a product with 15 to 20 different creatives. So we have hook, problem, then introing the product, 2 benefits, testimonials. So again, when you're getting that raw content, you want to mix and match the different ads so that they don't feel the same. You should have different clips in different areas. So you really want to make sure you're split testing that. And again, this will take a lot of practice because you have full control over how the ads and clips are going to look. You just need to find the right creator, and you're also going to have to tell them what shots you need. So down below, and I know this is a lot, but we'll have everything you need from different frameworks, different shot examples so that you can absolutely master this. And obviously you will have a mentor if you're in our paid mentorship program so that we can help you getting the idea of all this. So just some shot examples that you can see, and I'll leave this down below as an example so you can see, okay, talk to the camera while holding product. That's pretty usual close-up shot of you looking at your skin. So you really got to imagine for each line, what makes the most sense for that line. And that's where you have a ton of control compared to repurposed ads, because you might have a killer line for a repurposed ad, but you can't find a clip that corresponds with that line and with that benefit. But with having custom content and working with content creators, you have so much more flexibility. You can tell them exactly what shot you need, what to say, and what's the tonality you need as well. So to recap this all, whenever I'm writing an ad script for a new product, I always look at the best performing ads. I will copy some of the best lines and ideas that I get from that, and then I will do a modular format where I am just writing different hooks, different product intros, different problems, and these are following frameworks that I already have. So I usually will get the idea like, okay, you want to lose weight, and then I figure out which framework does it make sense to use for that specific benefit. So you do all the frameworks, and obviously the more you study ads, the more frameworks that you can learn so that when you are writing ads in the future, you have all these different frameworks and you just have to copy and paste through those frameworks what will work the best. And typically when you're ready, if you're doing repurposed ads, this is what it's going to look like. You will have each one of your lines already ready to go before you start editing and finding clips. You need to have that script ready. So again, the most comfortable waist trainer, perfect for all women, fix your posture, the perfect workout companion, flatten your tummy, and then I have my call to action at the end. So you should have 5 different scripts that follow different frameworks. So again, you can play around with the different frameworks. It can be hook, problem, solution, hook, 2 benefits, social proof. So you just play around with the different lines that you have. So you might write 3 different hooks so that in one ad, you'll have this hook, hook 1, and then in the next ad, you might use hook 2 instead. So you get your 5 different scripts, you find content, and that's how you'll do it. And obviously, if you're doing custom content, as we already mentioned, you will do the storyboard where you plan out the different shots, you plan out the different lines, and then you'll send that to a content creator that will film that content together.